Dr. Prahalathan to the stage, fondly known as Doc, the co-founder of Bhumi, to take over for the next session.
Thank you, Smriti. Hi, everyone. So I'm going to present something that is like the UPI moment for volunteering. It's a consultation. It's just an idea at this stage. I'm going to share about what I understand as the problem and the idea itself and what it will solve and what it could solve and the ask from some of you. So this is just a consultation. It's still an idea. Yeah. So how many of you struggle to find volunteers in your organization? Okay. How many of you don't struggle to find volunteers in your organization? Okay. In more of you, I want you to volunteer when I'm asking questions. Okay. And in your organizations, how many of you are managing volunteers just like that on the phone? You know, you message people and manage like that. Okay. How many of you use Excel sheets? Okay. How many of you use some sort of volunteer management system? Okay, quite a few of you. How many of you have custom built this system? Meaning it's not a ready-made product, but you had to build it for yourself. Okay. So while all of us struggle, or most of us struggle to get volunteers, I think the willingness for volunteers is there. When I started volunteering, people used to ask like, what are you doing after college? Instead of practicing your profession, why are you volunteering, young person? But now we saw somebody saying school children are volunteering, right? So volunteers are definitely there. But I think finding volunteers, finding the organization, I think that is one problem. Discovery is very organic, you know, word of mouth, social media. They have to see your post among thousands of other things. We all have platforms. I don't think any of our platforms talk to each other. Like Bhumi has so many thousands of volunteers, you don't even know them. Some of the volunteers registered with Bhumi could also be registered with you and we wouldn't even know, right? And there's a lot of time we have to spend in managing all this, right? Like sending WhatsApp. Like earlier, we could just mail, when Bhumi started 20 years back, we had a Google group and we would just post there and it was simple. Then we had to SMS people. Then you had to email people. Now you have to WhatsApp people, right? Like so many things are going on. WhatsApp has made it very difficult to message people in bulk. So technology keeps changing, but our work also keeps changing. So these are all some of the problems that are there. So what is the idea, right? How many of you here used UPI today? Yeah. So that's the power of UPI. I got off the flight, took an auto, paid him by UPI. I asked him UPI. He said, yeah. And he showed me some code. So almost everybody here used UPI today. So what is the beauty of UPI? You could have any bank account and you could make any payment for anything, right? UPI is a common language, right? And there's something called ONDC, Open Network for Digital Commerce. I don't know which apps use it, but I use in Chennai and Bangalore, there's this Nammayatri app, which used to get autos. It uses ONDC. Like I'm directly talking to the auto, like I'm requesting an auto and I get the auto on it. And Nammayatri is like a facilitator, right? So something like that, similar sort of thing. We're calling this the Seva protocol, where volunteer organization, any NGO, any volunteer organization can speak to any volunteer. The communication happens, the matching happens. So that's the idea. So it's a common language. So what it means, like, you know, I use Gmail, you may be using Yahoo, Rediff, whatever it is, right? We don't ask, right? What are you also having Gmail? Can I send you a mail? You don't do that. You send the mail and you don't worry where they are hosted, right? So that's the sort of idea we are imagining, right? So how will it? What does this mean for you when you sign up for something like this? So at the moment, yeah, you're designing this. You're co-designing the standard. We are asking for people to co-design the standard. So you will help decide what this common language is going to be, right? It's not some tech vendor has not decided something you have to adapt to, but you are helping the entire ecosystem adapt to this, right? So what will it help? Like, if you are open to discovery, right, any volunteer can find your opportunities, and any opportunity can be found by the volunteers as well, right? And every time, we are all reinventing the wheel, right? How to register volunteers, how to orient, all those things. So some common ways of doing this are agreed upon, and some ready-made things will also be available for people to use. And you can either you can either choose to collaborate with other organizations, or you can choose to stay independent also, right? So you can easily run joint initiatives on a platform like this. Yeah. And so what's the request? The request is to sign up if you're interested. And this is specifically for people who are already using some sort of system, or you're on the verge of adopting some system, right? And you can use your own system. This is just the common language, right? So to take the email analogy or the UPI analogy, I could be using Kotak, you could be using HDFC, and somebody could be using ICICI. You don't have to change your bank or anything, but we can still use UPI, right? It's like that. So what is the ask? The ask is to help draft the framework, right? What is the language we're going to use? What are the common things we're going to share? What are the things we won't share? And bring your experience. Many of you have managed a lot of volunteers. Sam shared about how he's managed school volunteers, which we don't have. So your experience is important in designing this protocol. Help run a pilot, right? And, when we test things, some things will work, will not work, we'll improve it. And help govern the network. Like there's NPCI, which governs RuPay, UPI, and things like that. So some of us will form this thing to take decisions. UPI became UPI 2.0. There are some improvements happening. So we become this sort of governing body to do this. So scan this QR code if you're interested. We'll also send the link on the... Yeah. We'll also send this link on the thing. So UPI did not succeed because one bank built it, right? The government, somebody came up with the idea, they came up with NPCI, they came up with the protocol. So it's succeeded because all of them came together and built it. So that's the opportunity here for civic participation. This is not an app. This is not any technology which we are selling. This is a framework. It's a common language for your technology system to speak to my system, to speak to their system. If you have any questions or thoughts, please share. We'll send this on the thing. Don't worry if you can't scan it. Yeah. Looks like there are no questions. I'm here around. We can chat about this later as well. Yeah. Thank you.